From West Tennessee's news channel, this is 7 Eyewitness News. Good morning, West Tennessee, Saturday.
Good morning, West Tennessee. I'm Erica Williams. Today is Saturday, August 23rd. We'll get to those top stories in just a moment. But first, meteorologist Eddie Holmes is standing by in the Viper 7 Weather Center with a look at this morning's forecast. Good morning, Eddie.
Good morning, Erica, and good morning, West Tennessee. You got a summery day planned today. It looks like it'll be in full force as far as the weather is concerned. Viper Doppler radar is showing us no precipitation in West Tennessee. We've had a few showers east of the Tennessee River, but that's moving south, and we're not seeing any activity for our area right now. Looking outside, it's a quiet morning, but it is a humid morning as temperatures are generally in the 70s across West Tennessee and warming pretty rapidly. And here in Jackson right now with full sunshine, we've got 77 degrees. That humidity is at 88%. South-southwesterly breeze at about 5 miles an hour. We have a heat advisory in effect that will be in effect through 8 p.m. starting at noon today. So keep it in mind that heat index values will probably reach 105 at least for this afternoon in every county of West Tennessee and surrounding areas. Temperatures right now, beside our 77 here in Jackson, we're seeing 73 in Paris, 76 at Union City, Henderson at 75, and Bolivar checking in with 74 degrees. There's the actual air temperatures getting up in the mid-90s, but remember the heat index values will be up around 105. So make sure you take plenty of precautions with this heat if you're going to be out in it all day. How long will it last? We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast coming up for you shortly.
Well, new this morning, a Brownsville woman has been charged with reckless endangerment after police say she left her 3-year-old in a hot car. According to Brownsville police, Ebony Gray left the child unattended in the car on Thursday. They say the car was not running, but 2 of the windows were rolled down just a little. Someone passing by noticed the child in the car and called police. Investigators say the temperature was around 92 degrees at the time. The child is okay and suffered no injuries, but has been placed in the care of a grandparent during the investigation. Well, a possible case of child abuse is being investigated after the death of a 7-month-old boy in Benton County. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Dan Leporello has the devastating details.
Here is where officers say they tried to revive a 7-month-old boy.
His life hadn't even begun and it's already gone. And, you know, as a mom and a grandma, I think that's just frightening.
The Sheriff's Department says the family was just 6 miles away from the hospital when they had to pull over here on the side of Highway 641 in Benton County to call an ambulance because they didn't think their child would make it the rest of the way.
The baby was gasping for air, a real faint heartbeat.
The child's mother and her boyfriend have been brought in for questioning. According to the Sheriff's Department, there was a history of domestic violence in the home and 3 children have been taken from the mother in the past. Sheriff King says medical staff tried to revive the child.
I've never seen so many people working on one person. You know, they did everything they could do.
Sheriff King says currently no charges have been filed. In Benton County, Dan Lamparello, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
Child Services and the TBI are assisting with the investigation. Well, a stepmother says she is heartbroken after custody of her stepson is given back to his biological mother. Kelly McKinney says she's cared for her stepson for more than 7 years. The boy's biological mother was accused of abusing a different child in 2007. The child abuse charge was dropped and she pled guilty to aggravated assault, a lesser charge, and was sentenced to 6 years behind bars. Under Tennessee law, step-parents don't have rights in custody cases. McKinney says she doesn't think uprooting her stepson was in his best interest.
I've had him for over 7 years, the last 2 years on my own, and I never even knew anything about it. They didn't call me, they didn't summons me to court, they didn't ask me anything.
Hear more of what McKinney has to say coming up in about 25 minutes in the second half of Good Morning West Tennessee. Well, in a developing story, Jackson is one of about 60 communities that have collected enough signatures to place a referendum for supermarket wines on the November ballot. Well, currently, wine can only be sold in liquor stores, but a state law that passed this year will allow it to be sold by grocery and convenience stores starting in July 2016 if citizens vote to approve the change. Red, White, and Food, a coalition that lobbied for the change, has been keeping track of the collected signatures and said Thursday that so far 60 municipalities have submitted petitions to their election commissions which verified them. Well, with heat indexes hitting more than 100 degrees after what has been a mild summer, many of us are struggling to adjust. Doctors warn temperatures inside are just as important for avoiding heat-related sickness and suggest keeping indoor temperatures at 80 degrees or below. They also say symptoms from heat illnesses can show up days after outdoor activities.
They wake up, they feel bad, they may be confused, they're not themselves, they're sick, and as we take the history, we find out a couple of days ago they were out in the heat, maybe mowing their grass or working in their yard more than usual, and they have not recovered for it.
Staying cool can also come with a heavy price on energy bills. Staff at JEA say about 55% of a utility bill comes from the thermostat. Freebox fans are available through RIFA for those without working air conditioning or if you only have a window unit in your home. RIFA says after giving away almost no fans this summer, so far this month, the agency has given out 14 fans as the temperatures have increased. If you would like to request a fan, go to RIFA's office on Airways Boulevard. Make sure to bring a photo ID, social security cards for everyone in the home, and proof of residency. Well, get ready for the Cannons. The Jackson Symphony is hosting its annual Starlight Symphony tonight. The free event is held on the grounds of First Presbyterian Church. Music begins at 7:30, and musical director Peter Shannon says it's a family event. And yes, the cannons will fire during the 1812 overture. Shannon says expect for this year's concert to last longer than in past years.
We're going to have a short first half of about 35 minutes of classical pops, so classical music but all the tunes that people know and love.
First Presbyterian Church is located on North Highland near Skyline Drive and the Medical Center. Well, a local community honors their county mayor tonight. In Hardeman County, a celebration is being held for Mayor Willie Spencer. He's set to leave office in September after serving 2 terms. Mayor Spencer ran for a 3rd term in August but fell short. But he did make history as Hardeman County's first African-American mayor. The event, put on by community members, will be held at the Bolivar National Guard Armory tonight at 6. Well, the man in charge of security for Ferguson, Missouri had some good news in his latest news briefing. Arrests during protests have dwindled down to nothing. It comes 2 weeks after a white police officer fatally shot Michael Brown, an unarmed black teenager, sparking outrage. Protesters have taken to the streets daily in the mostly black city, sometimes clashing violently with officers. Captain Ron Johnson gave the stats for this week.
Tuesday night through 2 a.m., the number of arrests was 47. Wednesday night, the number of arrests was 6. Last night, it was 7. And tonight, it is 0.
Michael Brown's funeral will be held on Monday at the Friendly Temple Missionary Baptist Church in St. Louis. Well, another family in mourning gets a special call from the Pope. According to the director of the Holy See Press Office, Pope Francis called the family of James Foley. He's the American journalist beheaded by ISIS earlier this week. Foley was beheaded by ISIS, also known as ISIL or the Islamic State. Now, the execution was captured on video and posted online this week. Foley worked for the U.S.-based online publication Global Post. The spokesperson said Pope Francis called Foley's parents, John and Diane, and consoled them for their loss and assured them of his prayers. Also, according to Foley's brother, a scholarship is being set up in his honor.
This late summer heat wave is something we've not been used to, obviously, and we're just seeing this prolonged heat advisory episode that has been absent this summer. Let's take a look at where the current heat advisory is in effect. For West Tennessee, it starts at noon today and will continue until about sunset. So we've got all of the area and surrounding areas affected by this heat advisory. So be extra careful as you're out today and take frequent breaks. We'll review that. So those safety tips coming up in our next weather update. You can see that we had some thunderstorm activity that moved through western Kentucky and is dwindling out. Some more activities trying to get started back in southern Illinois. This reflects a boundary that may be in the area. And this afternoon we may see some around the Tennessee River. So it looks like the prospects for any rain are slim, but there may be a pop-up renegade shower or a thunderstorm. So the heat advisory is in effect until from noon till 8 o'clock. We'll probably have a heat advisory tomorrow, and we got some rain in the forecast for early next week. We'll look at that in the 7-day forecast coming up.
It's now time to meet this week's Tennessee Education Lottery Educator of the Week. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Eric Taylor takes us to Bemis.
Amy Wade is a 12-year special education teacher in the medically fragile class at the Montessori School in Bemis.
Just make progress, and sometimes with students who have low incidence disabilities, that progress can not seem like a lot to a lot of people, but you spend a lot of time with a kid and you just see them hitting a switch that they weren't able to hit last year.
Wade is an alumnus of Union University, where she earned her bachelor's, and Middle Tennessee State University, where she earned her master's in severe profound special education.
Well, the first person who got me into this was not an educator, but a student. I had a neighbor when I was in the 3rd grade who had cerebral palsy, and I used to go to her house, my sister and I, and we would play with her. And her parents said that we were her first friends.
Wade says teaching special education comes with its fair share of daily challenges.
I have students who see a vision teacher and a speech therapist, occupational therapist, and a physical therapist. So they have a very busy day and working around that, but I have just top-notch professionals that I work with.
Wade says she enjoys seeing her students smile and becoming independent in an everyday routine.
I want to prepare my students to be as independent as possible in whatever their adult outcome might be. So the things that they need to do to functionally get through life, I want to help them to expound upon those and to reach that maximum level of independence.
In Bemis, Eric Taylor, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
Wade will be eligible for the statewide Tennessee Education Lottery Educator of the Month Award. To vote for her, go to seehowitaddsUp.com to nominate a teacher for our weekly award. You can email us at educator@wbbjtv.com. Well, freshmen at Lane College didn't waste any time giving back. The students just moved in this week and they are already participating in community service around Jackson. On Friday, about 30 students were at Isaac Lane to help clean the campus. Participants say this is a great way to show the younger students how significant it is to set a good example.
That we're not closed off to our section of Lane College, or our section of Lane Avenue, that we want to come out and be a part of Jackson.
This is the first year for the community service program, and 200 college students helped to clean schools across Jackson.
Full summertime outdoor activities planned. We've got a heat advisory in effect this afternoon and probably tomorrow. Details straight ahead.
As we mentioned earlier, protests are still going strong in St. Louis after protests, but it's not coming easy thanks to the weather. A combination of high temperatures and high humidity has the city under an excessive heat warning through Monday night. Now, officials say at least one firefighter battling fire at an abandoned concrete plant became overheated but is expected to be fine. Additional crews and a cooling bus were called to the scene to help. According to the National Weather Service, temperatures in the city are expected to feel as high as 110 through the weekend heat wave.
Now, Storm Team weather with meteorologist Eddie Holmes.
It looks like our heat index values will be below 110, but they'll be in the upper 100s as far as 105 to 109, it looks like. Let's take a look at Viper Doppler radar to start things off because we have no precipitation across West Tennessee. There's some to the east of us and northeast, and those of you in the northeast corner of West Tennessee may very well see some of the clouds associated with this dying thunderstorm. Right now it looks like that maybe it will be responsible for setting off a few isolated showers in the Tennessee River Valley area. So if you're going to be in the on the river this week, especially today, you'll see the prospects for maybe a thunder shower or two. We've got a heat advisory in effect, and that's in effect starting at noon today and will be in effect until 8 o'clock. All over the Mid-South pretty well included in that. Just a review quickly of our heat safety tips. Don't forget to stay hydrated and dress with lightweight, light-colored clothing, and slow down. Reduce your activities and make sure as you're out and about with the kids and so on, check the back seat. Make it a routine for yourself. As we take a look at how things have fared so far in August. Well, our average temperature has been 77.2 degrees, and at the McKellar-Sipes Regional Airport, we've had about 4 inches of rain. How does that fare? Well, it looks like generally below normal for the temperatures and above normal as far as rainfall. Below normal temperatures, well, that's getting erased this week as we see the high pressure keeping things clear over the south, and it looks like that we will maintain that high pressure all the way through the weekend, and storm systems are in the periphery of that high pressure influence, and it looks like that's where they'll stay. Temperatures in the middle of the country in the very warm 70s. It looks like that we will see temperatures in much of the region in the upper 70s. As a matter of fact, 83 already on their way to a hot day in St. Louis. In West Tennessee, readings are beginning to go into the upper 70s, and we will see those temperatures continue to warm. Vipercast shows that we've got thunderstorms that are going to be isolated across the eastern parts of our viewing area as that stream of moisture is affecting the region, and the same thing will be true tomorrow afternoon, mostly along the Tennessee River Valley area. Probably Monday afternoon, some scattered activity too. We've got highs today will be in the mid-90s. Tonight we go down in the mid-70s. Plenty of muggy around, and we look at the 7-day forecast, which is brought to you by Ace Hardware of Jackson. You'll notice 96 tomorrow. It'll be another day of probably a heat advisory. And then that grip releases a little bit as we go into next week, but it's still going to be plenty warm, or like August temperature should be.
Yeah, and we weren't used to them because of this mild summer that we had.
That's right. That's right.
But they came.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. High school football is underway. Coming up, a recap of 5th quarter with Justin Walters and Bart Barker.
All right, welcome to the 5th quarter week 0 recap edition. Bart Barker alongside Justin Walters. Justin, week 0 in the books. And last night, Justin, you had TCA taking on St. George's down in the Memphis area. As a big test early on for TCA, and it was a heartbreaker.
A heartbreaker at the end. It ended in a 31-29 St. George final. 2-point conversion slipped right out of the receiver's hands. It was tipped, but that wasn't the only great game in week 0 slate. We start off tonight with the defending Class 5A state champions taking a trip down to Liberty Land. The Crusaders playing smash mouth football on special teams. Chantel Thompson fields a punt. Meet Anthony Collins with the big hit. That's Mr. Anthony Collins. You saw that? He was taunting a little bit at the end, but I love it. Moments later, Henry County's tailback breaks off a big run, but to no avail because Liberty Tech with a huge victory in week 0, 21-14 over Henry County.
All right, another defending state champion. You had Union City and a golden tornado warning out in effect in Gibson County last night in Dyer as the golden tornadoes just come in to Gibson County's home field and just blow the doors off. And Union City doesn't look like they've missed a beat as they go on to roll 63-20, a huge win over Gibson County last night.
Let's keep the state championship theme continuing along. Adamsville, no stranger to reaching the state championship. 2 past seasons, they have reached Cookeville 2 straight years, and they're hoping to make it a 3rd and actually come back with a gold ball. Very stagnant game here against Chester County, but you have the Cardinals who pull out a 14-7 win and get things going late. Over in Bruins Den, you have an in-town rivalry, Southside and USJ. We have some week 0 trickery, 27-6 USJ, and they're going deep. Michael Taylor all alone with the flea flicker. USJ inside the 25-yard line. Moments later, Easton Underwood with a big day. Corner pocket end zone connection delivered. 41-6 USJ in this.
All right, let's stay in Jackson. Let's head down to the Rock. Dyersburg making the trip down 4-12 and bringing a vengeance with them. Already at 43-0 in the 3rd. And just not easing up off the gas. They come in to the Rock and just take care of JCM in a big way. 50-8 the final as Dyersburg off to a start rolling JCM with questions.
Let's head over to the Eagles' Nest. Jackson Christian hosting FACS. Defensive having problems with the Eagles. Jackson Christian's offensive not clicking either. Look at this nice snag. The interception by Kerry Henley. He gets the pick, and they're going the other way. 33-6. FACS.
It's a historic matchup last night as you take a look at Northside and Dyer County. This one goes back a while, but Last night it was Northside who goes up and, well, they take care of business on the road, pitching a shutout 35-0 over the Choctaws and the Indians. 2 tribes colliding. Northside prevails.
Security limitations in that one. Next up, though, look at rivalry. Speak about this, Bart.
Yeah, Milan taking on Lexington. Historic battle here. This one came down to a 4th down conversion that Lexington just couldn't convert, and it was a huge blow. Great game last night in Lexington, but it is Milan coming off that 2013 that was just horrendous. They're a touchdown winner last night.
Over to Alamo with Crockett County hosting Bolivar. Man, whew, Crockett County had a big day. You have Bolivar over here scoring a 58-yard touchdown courtesy of Sloan Leaf, but it was all Crockett County, 62-21. If you don't know Johnny Jones' name, please remember it now. He's having a big year.
And where to go from Crockett County? How about we go to Huntingdon? Is Paul Ward Stadium a very tough place to play for opponents who come in there? And McKenzie found out again last night, or rather Obion County did last night, as the Mustangs, they roll over Obion County Central, beat the Rebs 49-7 in that one. West Carroll and Humboldt.
Look at that in the strawberry capital. West Carroll and Humboldt, a very tight game. Back and forth all night, and you have this one ending with a difference of a field goal. The Vikings pull out 19-6. Congrats to Coach Junior Reed.
We stay in Gibson County, and how about McKenzie taking on Peabody? Rebs, Golden Tide in Trenton. They love teapots, they love the Tide, and they're going to love this. The home crowd does. Is Peabody, yeah, just toying with McKenzie last night. 56-21 is your final in that one. So that puts a wrap on week 0. Week 1 coming up next week. Such a great time of year as we're getting back and up and going again. For Justin Walters, Bart Barker, have a great day, everyone.
Well, coming up, a look at your weekend forecast with meteorologist Eddie Holmes.